camp.
Amen.
That's not your training ground. Your name is not on the roster of heaven over there because you're supposed to be right here.
Thank you, Jesus.
So you missed it. Being comfortable. You missed it. Being comfortable. With running, with flight in your feet. You missed it. So Isaac departed a little bit. And he distanced himself just far enough to get away from the enemy. But that man of God knew better. He said, listen here. Find me a rock. Find me a valley. Find me a foot of a hill. But I'm not leaving this country until God release me. I'm not going. It may get rough. You can stop up my wells. You can lie on me. You can call me everything but a child of God. But all I know is God told me that if I stay here, he will bless me. He will multiply my seed. And that I will inherit the place that my feet tread upon. So it may get rough. And listen, it may get tougher before it get better. But if this is where God called me to be, then there's a grace to stay. There's an endurance that comes from on high. And when I get weak, God will strengthen me. He will lift my wings up. He'll give me a second wind. When I feel like I can't make it, when I feel like I can't take it, he'll strengthen me because this is where he established me.
Amen.
So he dwelt there in that valley. And the Bible said he kept on digging. Because you can't stop. Even though the enemy's talking garbage. You can't stop. Because if you stop, everything connected to you is going to die.
Amen.
If you stop all those flocks, all those herds and animals God gave you, they're going to die. So you don't have a choice but to keep digging. You got to wipe the sweat from off your brow and keep digging. You got to take Tylenol, some aspirin, and some Advil because your back hurting, but you got to keep digging.
Amen.
Because the destiny of those that are connected to you is in your dig. And so Isaac digged again the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, because the Philistines stopped them up. And listen, he called their names after the names by which his father named him. You've got to learn how to call yourself by the name your father gave you.
Yeah. Amen.
Well, I just don't feel good. The Lord didn't name that.
Right.
This ain't going to work. God didn't name that neither.
You said that.
The Bible said whatever Adam named the animals, God saw it, he called it good.
Right.
Amen.
So now you got to learn how to rename some things.
Right.
You got to learn how to call that thing by its God-given name.
Amen.
God said my children are saved.
Yes.
He said they are. He said that, listen, he said the heritage of the Lord. He said my children shall have sweet sleep and they shall be blessed. There shall be safety all around my children. He said I'll be like an olive tree and my branches will be like children sitting at my table and that my belly will be full of them. And you got to call your children out of the wilderness because that's where God is calling from. You got to partner with the Lord. You got to call your husband out. You got to call your wife out. And you got to keep digging till you see them coming.
Amen.
Amen. Jesus.
You have to keep digging until you see what you say.
Amen. Lord Jesus.
Keep digging. Keep calling that ministry blessed. Keep calling the officers blessed and anointed and filled with the Holy Spirit. Keep calling it. Keep calling it like God said it. He called their names after the name by which his father had called them.
Thank you, Lord.
So if you call in your situation other than the name that God gave it, you in error. And you're going to have to go back and repronounce some things and reposition some things. Go back. That's your assignment. Go back and start renaming some things.
Amen.
And call it by its God-given name.
Right.
God did not call you broke. God, I'm about to die. No, you're not about to die. I shall live and I shall declare the work of the Lord in the land of the living. I will not die until God is ready for me. He ain't ready because my work is not done, so I'm not going nowhere. You may have to push me. You may have to drag me. You may have to kick me, but I'm not going nowhere until my work is done. He has to tell me, well done. How is he going to give me a well done and I ain't finished gunning? I'm not finished gunning. So it's not time.
Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
The servants digged with him, and they found a well of springing water. I'm trying to wrap this up. And the herdmen of Gerar, listen, did strive with Isaac's herdmen. Now, your whole warfare has shifted. Because first you had the Philistines fighting you. And when they couldn't do it, the strong man of Abimelech, the king of Philistines, came. Couldn't do it. So now you're in a whole other season of warfare. And the Bible said now the men of Gerar are fighting you. The Gerar is the place God told you. So God is ordaining a fight in the same place he told you to stay. There's a storm rising up right in front of your face. And that's where, my God, a storm right on the side of your bed and you can't go nowhere. There's a storm in your house and you can't leave it. A storm rises up in the church and you can't go nowhere. A storm will rise up right in your face.
Amen, Jesus.
The Bible said the herdmen of Gerar began to fight with him. And they said the water is ours. And they called the name of the well Esek. Now Esek and sitting in both names contention and strife.
Jesus.
So now you're in a place now of contention and strife. And you're still in a famine.
Right.
I told you. Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. But you want Rehoboth. You want Rehoboth. But you got to first confront Sitna and Esek. Now Sitna and Esek are people.
Use the Lord. Use the Lord.
In the Bible, amen, it's a place. But in the spirit realm, these represent people that are on assignment to make sure you don't get to Rehoboth.
Yes.
And so the minute you escape Abimelech and you've gotten away from the Philistines, now here come the enemies in Gerar. Sometimes the enemies in your own house. I don't want to look at nobody, but I'm just saying. Because when you battle the forces on the outside, the war comes on inside your house.
Come on.
It can come inside the church house. It can come inside your own house. And so now there's a war rising up in your house. But God has still pronounced that there's a Rehoboth for you. But you got to get there. You got to take down Sitna and you got to take down Esek. You're going to have to face enemies of your own house. And you're going to have to do battles so strategically that you don't kill your house. Why? My God.
Jesus.
You got to make sure you don't burn the house down killing the roach.
Jesus.
My God.
In this type of warfare, you got to know which weapon to use.
Yes.
Because we all got to live here. So you can't tear that down. So what you use to survive when you're around the Philistines, you can't use that here in the valley. Because you're in the valley. You're in a low place. And when you're in a low place, the devil don't fight fair.
Yes.
So he'll use those of your own house. He'll use those closest to your heart.
Jesus.
Because if he couldn't get you from the outside, he'll find a weak vessel inside. My God.
Jesus.
And then watch how you maneuver that one. How you going to maneuver? How you going to fight when you got to fight in your own house?
My God.
How you going to fight and you're trying not to subscribe to a generational breakdown in family? How you going to fight this one? But you want Rehoboth. You want the breakthrough. You want expansion. You want promotion. You want to go to a higher place. But there's some skills you got to learn first.
Yes, Lord.
You're going to have to learn how to exterminate the enemy and keep your house strong at the same time. You got to learn how to kill them with kindness. You got to know how to use wisdom. You got to know how to articulate things. My children say, Ma, you got a way to tell people off and they don't even know it. You got to use your words.
Amen.
You got to become an artisan. You got to become an artist with the things you say. Your words got to come out and paint a picture and say, your words got to come out and do things in the spirit without touching. It's like a surgeon's knife. They use a laser. They don't touch the skin, but they know how to go into that organ. And so your words got to be so strategic. It's got to go in, do the battle without tearing your house down at the same time.
Jesus.
Because of enemies in your house. It's in the house. And where you going to run? You're out of options now. Your back is up against the wall. But you're still in a famine. So you can't jump ship because you lose favor. And you can't stop fighting or you lose everything. So what do you do when you want Rehoboth? You got to take down Sitna and Esek first.
Amen.
Look at what happens. Everybody all right?
My God, my God.
And so there's strife and contention. There's conflict in your gates. And they're saying this is ours. and you know that God gave it to you. They're saying they're the head, and you know God called you to be the head.
Right.
They're saying this is the way it's supposed to be done, but God gave you the vision. What do you do
Jesus.
when the house is divided?
Yeah.
What do you do? And they continued to dig. And the Bible says he removed from there, and he digged another well. Because you got to learn, listen to me, how to separate your emotions from the battle.
Amen, Jesus.
He had to move. Sometimes you got to emotionally move yourself.
Yes.
Sometimes you need a mental break. Because some of us try to make decisions in spirits of frustration.
Yes.
You never build when you're frustrated. Because you can't count the cost
Amen.
of your building material. You ain't even thinking. This is why Jesus spent so much time in the garden praying.
Right.
Because he knew that when I mount that cross, I'm going to have a decision to make.
Absolutely.
I can call legions upon legions to rescue me. I can take the whole city down. And so he was in an emotional womb. And what Jesus had to do is what we have to do on our altar in prayer, is you got to learn how to separate how you feel from what has to be done.
Right.
You got to separate how you feel about it. And they hurt my feelings, and I can't believe she did that, and I can't believe he said that. Because if you don't, every decision you make will be colored by your pain. Every decision you make will be colored by your rejection, by the attitude, and you'll never make the right decision, and you'll end up in the valley again, because God can't promote what you don't pass.
Amen, Jesus.
Lord.
My God, Jesus.
So you want this Rehoboth.
Right.
And God already said it's yours. He told you that before the famine started.
Right.
He told you, I'm going to prosper you. I'm going to multiply you. All this land you see, I'm going to give it to you. Because God is like that. He'll tell you how he's going to bless you. And then you'll go through hell. And then he'll come back and bless you. See, he'll give you instructions in the beginning. And then he'll get quiet in the middle.
Yes.
Have you ever noticed how God get quiet in the middle?
Yes.
Yeah.
He'll tell you all this. I'm getting ready to do it. This will get ready to happen. And you get excited. You roll across the floor. You sow a seed. You jump so high. You Facebook it, tweet it, Instagram it. And then when hell comes, Lord, the prophet must have missed it because I don't see none of this what they told me. Matter of fact, the very thing that they said was going to happen, though everything worse has happened.
I didn't hear that part.
And we call them people false prophets and stuff. That's not the case. It's just that God told you what he was going to do. He didn't tell you how he was going to get it done.
Yes.
And we faint in the valley. We faint in the valley of decision. We faint in the process.
That's right.
Amen.
And so this is why we have prophecies upon prophecies, and some of us have become prophetic junkies. We want a new word, a new word, a new word, and hadn't walked out the first 500 words, and now you're just addicted to the high.
Yes.
It just feels good being called out. It makes you feel special.
Jesus.
Because nobody ever recognizes you. Nobody calls you for nothing. So somebody calls you out and say, get ready, God's about to do it. You feel so, it's like adrenaline rush through your veins. And you feel like you can do anything. And then you go home and reality sets in that you got to pay for what God said he's going to do.
My God.
Isaac had to foot the bill for Rehoboth. And the price tag for Rehoboth was a famine. The price tag for Rehoboth was the Philistines.
Right.
The price tag for Rehoboth was Abimelech.
Right.
The price tag for Rehoboth was Sitnah.
Right.
And the price tag for Rehoboth was Esau.
Jesus.
So that's what the prophet didn't tell you.
Right.
They didn't have time. Just rush them out the door to the next engagement.
Good Lord.
Prophet didn't tell you that what God said concerning you is very true. And he will surely bring it to pass.
Absolutely.
But before he does so, the word, the Bible says, concerning Joseph, has to be tried in you.
Right.
So you don't get Rehoboth